Ace in New York, New York.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I've been an atheist for probably about 5 years now. After I was a devout, well, I wouldn't say I was a devout Christian, but I've probably, been through a couple of religions because living in the black community, which I've heard the show before, and this woman called in, and basically she happened to mention that why are so many black people so, religious? And she's absolutely right. I never heard of an atheist. Like, I've heard of atheism, but it was so like, oh my God, taboo type thing.
Yeah.
I really never questioned that there was not a God. But growing up, in this environment, I never really also, I never read anything. I never saw, any, nobody ever talked to me about Richard Dawkins or anything. I went to school, I learned what they taught it, but I never learned any of this stuff until I started, going to the internet and talking to a lot of other people, and I'm always very open-minded. I get a lot of information from everything, because if I believe in something, I want to know if I'm right or wrong about it. I want to know, what makes this, world tick, or universe. And if I'm dead wrong, I want it to be proven to me. Anyway, to get to the point of what I'm trying to say, I argue, of course, living here with in debate with a lot of creation. I was talking to another guy who believes in astrology. I mean, really, really believes in it. But what's the best argument, for a believer?
Well, it depends on the argument they're making. And I think that's where you have to get them to actually specify exactly what their claim is. Because it's hard to argue against something unless they've been very specific about it. If you allow them to be vague, they'll throw something out there, and maybe it's not exactly defined very well, and so you start to refute it, and then they come back with, oh, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this, and so then the claim shifts.
Right.
So I think that one of the best techniques is to get them to be very specific about what it is they're claiming, and then don't let them do what's called a gish gallop on you, where they start jumping from topic to topic to topic. One of the things that we ask frequently is, give me your best argument.
Okay.
Right. Matt apparently doesn't like that one, from what I heard
Oh,
last
really?
week. But I think one of the things I learned a while back while doing this show and getting this one creationist who would call in practically every week is that it's really, really important, exactly what Jen said, not to let them jump around to different topics, because what will happen is they don't have science on their side. So they will throw out something that they consider to be basically a magic bullet, something which will destroy the entire science with one thing like, oh, I didn't realize there were dinosaur footprints next to human footprints.
Yeah.
Why, that completely invalidates everything I think.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily important that you always know exactly everything you need to know at the moment you're arguing with them, because you'll get another chance in the future and you'll get more practice. But basically what you want to do is single out one claim, make sure you understand what they're saying very well, nail that claim, and then when they try to change the subject, which they will, say, before we move on, can you acknowledge that you were wrong about that one?
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to chip away at these things one thing at a time, because what you'll get is creationists sending you this giant wall of links that say, oh, how can you refute all of this?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I can't. I don't have that much time, but I can refute one at a time very thoroughly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we got an email the other day from a creationist who, I think he said he was about 16 years old or something like that, and he says, I have proof that, God is real, and he created the universe. And he links to a YouTube clip. So I don't spend any time refuting YouTube clips, and I don't watch them. But I went to that one just out of curiosity as to which one it is, because we actually get so many of these, we pretty much know which ones they're talking about. And it was actually 59 minutes. If this kid thinks I'm going to spend an hour of my time watching Lee Strobel, of all people, with his nonsense, he's crazy. But that's what it was. It was the Lee Strobel thing. It's like, Lee Strobel is one of the weakest apologists out there, and he's a liar. He can, well, actually I shouldn't say he's a liar. I find suspect his claims that he used to be an atheist. Okay, but anyway, he completely misrepresents science, and so if you read some of Strobel's work and you go, infidels.org has a library, and there's a whole bunch of information, including some information about Strobel and some of the other apologists. You spend a little time on infidels.org in the library, you'll pick up a lot of things in there. For one thing, the arguments they use frequently, and some of the things that you can do to answer those.
I think you would be remiss if you didn't use this opportunity to also mention Iron Chariots.
IronChariots.org, yes.
Counter-apologetics wiki. Anytime you come in across an argument that you've never heard before, that's a good first place to go to look up what the basic refutations might be.
And of course, if you're talking about creationists, the place to find a lot of their arguments and the answers to them is Talk Origins. So talkorigins.org is a fabulous resource.
All right. Thank you. I've heard of it.
Okay.
Very much. All right. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
All right.
Thanks
Thanks a lot for calling.
No problem.
And it's true we don't, that we say a lot that, and a lot of black atheists will say, I don't know many other black atheists. But, in the last few months, we've been hearing from a lot of them, and that's, and just being an out black atheist is a step in getting it, getting it to be basically accepted culturally.
Yeah.
So, keep it up.